So I got contacted a while back from my old buddy Steve that I know from makeup school from long ago, and he told me that he's going to be starring in a performance of Spamalot, and they needed some helmets made for the show. So I told him I'd help him out, and I'd make him up some of these helmets here. Now I was first going to sculpt it out of clay, but I decided, there's a whole lot of snow outside, so why don't I go outside and use the snow to make the form that I need for the helmet. Um, and this has to be probably the fastest form I have ever made in my life. Literally 3 minutes, and it was done. Um, so, weather permitting, this is a great way to make forms really quick. Now, here what I've done is I folded it and taped it off. Now, I prefer to use like a duct tape, but it's a little snowy and I couldn't run out to the store to get some, so I just used what tape I had, which was some blue tape. It worked okay for what I needed. Now this isn't a actual tutorial per se. If you want to see some really good tutorials that explain all the different things that I'm doing and showing here, then be sure to check out the links that I have down below to my friend Ted Smith's channel, the Evil Ted channel. He's got some really good foam building tutorials that'll explain all this stuff in much better detail than I am here. So here you can see basically I brought it inside, put it on my head form to see how it fits to make sure it's sized properly so it'll fit on their head. And I've marked some bisecting lines there that'll guide me so I know where to cut the piece apart. Now here I've just started to cut away to get a little bit better idea of where the face is going to go and how it's going to set on the head and all that. And what I'll do is I'll go and I'll cut it apart and transfer that onto foam, which I've done here. I've transferred it onto foam. I'm using the 1/4 inch big roll of the insulation, or not the insulation, but the EVA floor mat. Uh, so you can get it from most hardware and automotive type stores. Now, see, that was just basically a rough shell. Now, what I've done is I've taken that rough one that I had put together, and I've taken the heat gun. Since I glued it all together with hot glue, I'm able to heat it with the heat gun and heat it, the glue, and soften it back up so that I can take it apart and then flatten that piece out. And now this piece will become my master pattern piece that I'll trace and make all the different pieces I need for the helmets. Now here, the helmets have rivets all over them. So I just made some really quick clay molds. Took a marble and just pressed it in. And these will just be really, really quick, easy molds that I can just fill up plastic and pop a whole bunch of them out at once. I know what I'll do is I'll make these molds and then I'll spray it down with a little bit of man mold release just to give it a good coating. You can use like a Krylon or whatever, but I like to use man. It makes it come out really, really easy. There's no clay to clean off afterwards. And I see I mixed up some Smoothcast 300 here, poured it into the molds. You can see it's starting to kick there where it's starting to turn white and opaque. And depending on humidity, temperature, all kinds of stuff, this can, usually takes about 5 minutes or so, and it's set and they're ready to be popped out. I'll have to do about 3 runs of these to have enough of these rivets to do all the helmets. Now here we jump ahead, and I've primed it with some plastic coat. This is the first layer. You see it's still a little bit wet. I'm waiting for it to dry. But you see, before I did that, I've actually gone and reassembled the foam pieces, the master pieces, back together. I've added on the little casted pieces, and I've added some rubber tubing on there as the edge detailing. Again, all these different processes and things, you can see how they're done in detail by checking those links out below. Now here I've dusted it with a light coat of silver. I'm not going to do a whole lot of paint on it because it's going to be shipped off, and when it's there on set they're probably going to have to match it to some other items or props or costume stuff, so they can do color touch-ups or whatever when they get it there and make it match. So I'm not going to worry too much about the paint job on this. Just give them a base coat to work off of here. And that's pretty much about it. Maybe some layer of clear coat or something, but that's probably more something that they'll do there once they've got it painted the way that they want it exactly. The seam, there's a little bit of seam line here on this, but again, this is going to be for a stage performance, so it's going to be at a distance. Seams are not going to be that visible, so I'm not too worried about it. But if you want to see more of the stuff that I make, be sure to visit my website, Bioweapons, and from there you can find links to all my other pages, my Twitch channel, and everything.